What if I told you that the most powerful collagen you will ever have in your body isn't going to come from a powder, a capsule, or a cream? It's going to come from your own cells. And the plants our ancestors used for thousands of years were specifically chosen because they trigger those cells to produce collagen at a rate that no supplement can match. Most people don't know this, but while we're all spending a fortune on collagen products that bypass the body's own production system, ancient civilizations were eating and using specific plants that worked with that system instead of around it. Plants with actual clinical evidence backing them up. Plants that modern biochemistry has now confirmed were doing exactly what they were supposed to do. Plants that have been growing at your feet this entire time, waiting for you to remember what they are. And today I'm going to show you 20 of them that will completely change the way you think about your skin, your joints, and how your body ages. Stick around, because number 17 on this list has been used for over 3,000 years specifically for skin and joint repair. And a clinical trial published in a peer-reviewed journal confirmed it increased collagen synthesis by over 65% in just 8 weeks. And number 20 isn't a rare exotic plant from the other side of the world. It's almost certainly growing in your garden right now. You've been pulling it out and throwing it away. And you've been discarding one of the most powerful collagen-building plants ever studied. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because we post new videos every week showing you the healing knowledge our ancestors understood and modern science is finally proving right. Now let's get into it. Here are 20 ancient plants that rebuild collagen faster than any supplement, ranked from impressive to absolutely extraordinary. Let's start with a plant that Viking women in Scandinavia used for centuries to maintain their skin through brutal northern winters. Rosehip, the small red fruit that forms after the rose flower drops its petals. And here's what makes it so extraordinary for collagen. Rosehips have one of the highest concentrations of vitamin C of any plant on Earth, up to 40 times more than oranges. And here's the biology that most people have never been told. Your body cannot produce a single molecule of collagen without vitamin C. Not one. It is a non-negotiable cofactor in the collagen synthesis process. Without it, the entire production line shuts down completely. Modern clinical trials confirm what the Vikings already lived by. A Danish study showed that participants taking rosehip powder for 8 weeks had measurably improved skin elasticity, reduced wrinkle depth, and increased skin moisture. And the active compounds aren't just vitamin C. Rosehips also contain transretinoic acid, a natural form of retinol, and polyphenol that protect existing collagen from the enzymes that break it down. The traditional use was simple: rosehip tea, rosehip jam, rosehip oil applied to the skin. The same plant that kept Viking skin intact through Norwegian winters is available everywhere today as dried rosehips, powder, or oil. Rosehip got forgotten when synthetic vitamin C supplements took over the market. But isolated ascorbic acid in a capsule is not the same as vitamin C bound with tannins and bioflavonoids inside a living plant. The ancient way wasn't less sophisticated. It was more complete. Think of it as the plant that's been building collagen in harsh climates for 1,000 years, quietly waiting for you to remember it exists. Gotu Kola has been used in Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine for over 3,000 years, specifically for skin healing, wound repair, and what ancient practitioners called renewing the body's vital tissue. And here's what most people miss. Modern dermatology studied it extensively and found out exactly why it worked. Gotu Kola contains compounds called asiaticoside and madecassoside that directly stimulate fibroblast activity. Fibroblasts are the cells in your skin and connective tissue that manufacture collagen. They are literally the factory floor of your entire collagen production system. Clinical trials show Gotu Kola extract increases collagen synthesis, accelerates wound healing, reduces the appearance of stretch marks and scars, and improves skin firmness in ways that no standard moisturizer can replicate. A randomized controlled trial showed significant improvement in skin elasticity and hydration after 12 weeks of supplementation. The traditional preparation was fresh leaves eaten in salads, common practice still in Sri Lanka and Indonesia, or brewed as tea. The same plant that Ayurvedic physicians prescribed for skin rejuvenation 3,000 years ago is now appearing in premium skincare serums at $80 a bottle. You can take it as a supplement, or find fresh leaves in any Asian grocery store for almost nothing. Gotu Kola got forgotten in Western medicine simply because it grows in tropical regions and couldn't be easily standardized into a patent. But traditional healers never stopped using it, and the clinical evidence is now impossible to ignore. Think of it as the plant that quietly tells your skin cells to build what time has been taking away. Horsetail is a living fossil, a plant type that existed 350 million years ago and has barely changed since. Ancient Romans used it to strengthen bones and nails. Medieval herbalists prescribed it for connective tissue repair, and its collagen connection comes from something most people have never thought about: silica. Horsetail is one of the richest plant sources of organic silica on Earth, and silica is essential for collagen cross-linking. That is the process by which individual collagen fibers are bonded together into the strong structural matrix that gives your skin, bones, and connective tissue their resilience. Without adequate silica, your collagen production can be running at full speed and still produce weak, poorly structured collagen that doesn't do the job. Studies show horsetail supplementation improves nail strength, hair thickness, and skin elasticity, all direct measures of collagen quality in different tissues. Traditional use was horsetail tea, drunk regularly for joint and bone support. Horsetail got forgotten as synthetic mineral supplements became available. But the organic silica in horsetail is absorbed and used by the body in a way that synthetic silicon dioxide simply isn't. Think of it as the plant that's been holding structures together since before the dinosaurs walked the earth, and is still doing the same job today. In Ayurvedic medicine, Amla is called a rasayana, a class of substances considered so powerful for longevity and tissue regeneration that ancient physicians treated them as almost sacred. And for collagen specifically, the science is extraordinary. Amla contains more bioavailable vitamin C than almost any food on the planet. But here's what makes it fundamentally different from taking a synthetic supplement. The vitamin C in Amla is bound with tannins and bioflavonoids that prevent oxidation. That means it stays active and usable in your body far longer than any capsule could deliver. Clinical studies show Amla extract increases type I and type 3 collagen synthesis, the primary structural collagens in your skin and connective tissue. Research published in the Journal of Cosmetics, Dermatological Sciences found Amla significantly improved skin elasticity and reduced oxidative damage to existing collagen. Traditional use in Ayurveda was Amla eaten fresh, dried, or taken as powder mixed with honey. It tastes intensely sour. The shock is real, but that tartness is a marker of the extraordinary phytochemical density that makes it work. If there is one Ayurvedic plant that the entire anti-aging supplement industry wishes it had patented decades ago, it is Amla. Think of it as the plant that the oldest medical tradition on earth considered the foundation of youth. Stinging nettle is the plant everyone knows from accidentally brushing against it on a hike and immediately regretting it. But that same plant that causes the sting has been used medicinally since ancient Egypt and across every European culture for joint pain, skin conditions, and what traditional herbalists call building the blood and strengthening connective tissue. The collagen connection comes from Nettle's extraordinary mineral profile. It contains silica, boron, magnesium, and vitamin K, four nutrients that all play specific roles in collagen synthesis and bone matrix formation. Boron in particular is a trace mineral that most people are severely deficient in, and research shows boron deficiency directly impairs collagen production and bone strength. A clinical study showed that regular nettle supplementation reduced the inflammatory markers associated with collagen breakdown in people with rheumatoid arthritis. Traditional use was nettle tea, nettle soup, because cooking completely neutralizes the sting, and nettle tincture for joint support. The plant grows wild everywhere. Free, abundant, ignored. Nettle got forgotten simply because it grows like a weed and couldn't be packaged into something people would pay $50 for. But the mineral matrix it provides is something most collagen supplements don't even address. Think of it as the plant that defends itself fiercely and builds you up just as powerfully. We talked about calendula in our last video as a wound healer, but its collagen connection goes deeper. Here's what most people never hear about it. Calendula is one of the most potent protectors of existing collagen in the entire botanical world. And here's what destroys collagen faster than aging ever could: chronic inflammation and UV-induced oxidative stress. Both activate enzymes called matrix metalloproteinases that literally digest your collagen fibers from the inside out. Calendula contains flavonoids, specifically isoramnitin and narcissin, that have been shown to inhibit that enzymatic destruction and protect collagen from being broken down. Clinical studies on topical calendula show significant improvement in skin firmness and hydration in women over 45, exactly the demographic whose collagen is being most actively degraded. Traditional use was calendula-infused oil applied topically to the skin, and calendula tea drunk internally for systemic anti-inflammatory effects. For anyone whose collagen isn't just being underproduced, but actively destroyed by chronic inflammation, calendula works on the destruction side of the equation, not just the production side. Think of it as the battlefield flower that fights for your collagen, even when nothing else is. Hibiscus flowers were used in ancient Egyptian beauty rituals. The modern science reveals exactly why this wasn't just vanity. Hibiscus contains a compound called hibiscidin that directly inhibits elastase, the enzyme that breaks down elastin, the protein that works alongside collagen to keep skin supple and resilient. But its collagen connection is even more direct. Research published in Food and Chemical Toxicology showed hibiscus extract significantly inhibited collagen breakdown and stimulated new collagen synthesis in skin tissue. The mechanism involves hibiscus's extraordinary anthocyanin content, which neutralizes the free radicals that trigger the collagen-degrading enzymes. Traditional use across Africa and the Middle East was hibiscus flower tea. The deep red infusion called carcade in Egypt, or agua de Jamaica in Mexico. It is one of the most pleasant-tasting plants on this entire list. Naturally tart and fruity, hibiscus got forgotten in Western health culture as commercial skincare took over. But the traditional women who drank hibiscus tea every morning weren't doing it for the taste. Think of it as the flower that Cleopatra understood, and modern dermatology is only now catching up to. Ashitaba is relatively unknown outside Japan, but in the Aizu Islands, where some of Japan's longest-lived people reside, it has been eaten as a daily vegetable for centuries. The name means tomorrow's leaf, because if you cut a leaf in the morning, a new one is already grown back by the next day. And that regenerative capacity mirrors exactly what it does in the human body. Ashitaba contains a unique compound called 4,4-dimethoxycalcone that longevity researchers at ETH Zurich identified as one of the most potent activators of cellular renewal ever studied. Its direct collagen connection comes from its calcone content, which stimulates fibroblast proliferation and type I collagen synthesis. Clinical research shows Ashitaba extract improves skin elasticity and reduces the depth of wrinkles in women over 50. Traditional preparation was the fresh leaves eaten as tempura, in salads, or dried and brewed as green tea. The traditional way is still the best way. Ashitaba got forgotten outside Japan simply because it doesn't grow easily in other climates. But the supplement industry discovered it recently and is already charging premium prices for what Japanese islanders have been eating for free for centuries. Think of it as the plant that literally grows back overnight and does the same thing for your skin. If you're starting to see the pattern here, if you're realizing that the most powerful collagen support was never in a supplement bottle, but in the plants our ancestors ate every day, do me a favor. Hit that like button right now. It helps this video reach the people who need it most. And if you haven't subscribed to Ancient Roots Healing yet, click that subscribe button and ring the bell. We're building something important here, and I'd love to have you as part of it. Turmeric appeared in our last video as an anti-inflammatory, but its specific collagen mechanism deserves its own spotlight here. The primary way collagen ages and loses function is through a process called glycation. This is where sugar molecules bind to collagen fibers and create what scientists call advanced glycation end products. Glycated collagen becomes rigid, brittle, and loses its ability to spring back. It is literally what makes skin sag and joints stiffen as we age. Curcumin, the primary active compound in turmeric, is one of the most potent anti-glycation compounds ever identified. Studies show it significantly reduces the formation of those destructive products in collagen tissue and simultaneously stimulates new collagen synthesis by upregulating TGF-beta, a growth factor that directly activates fibroblasts. Traditional Ayurvedic use specifically for skin was turmeric mixed with raw milk and honey, applied as a mask, a practice still used daily by millions of Indian women. Turmeric got pushed aside in Western medicine as synthetic anti-inflammatory drugs took over. But those drugs don't address glycation. Curcumin does. For anyone whose collagen problem isn't just production, but preservation, turmeric works on the degradation pathway that most collagen supplements completely ignore. Think of it as the spice that was worth more than gold and protects your collagen the same way. The Egyptians called aloe the plant of immortality. We know it from wounds and sunburn, but aloe's collagen story goes much deeper than either of those. The inner gel of aloe vera contains a polysaccharide called asamanin that has been shown in multiple studies to directly stimulate fibroblast activity and collagen production from the inside. A landmark study published in the Annals of Dermatology showed that participants who took aloe vera gel orally for 90 days had significantly increased pro-collagen type I production in the skin. Not topical improvement, systemic improvement from internal use. The traditional application of aloe to wounds wasn't just about soothing the surface. It was directly triggering collagen deposition at the wound site, which is exactly how wounds close and tissues rebuild themselves. Aloe got overshadowed by synthetic burn creams and processed skincare, but those products treat the surface. Aloe, taken internally, works on the production system underneath it. For anyone who has an aloe plant sitting on their windowsill right now, the thick gel from the inner leaf, taken orally in small amounts, is a direct collagen stimulant, not a supplement. Not a processed product. The same living plant that Cleopatra used daily. Most single-ingredient collagen supplements address one, or at most two of those pathways. Morina addresses all four simultaneously. Studies show Morina supplementation reduces the inflammatory markers associated with collagen breakdown, and provides the micronutrient cofactors that collagen production depends on. Traditional use across Africa and Southeast Asia was fresh moringa, leaves eaten daily as a vegetable, or dried leaf powder stirred into food or water. In regions where moringa grows abundantly, chronic joint and skin problems associated with collagen deficiency are significantly less prevalent than in populations without access to it. That is not coincidence. Moringa got overlooked in Western nutrition because it doesn't grow in temperate climates and couldn't be easily sourced for large-scale commercial use. But for the communities that have always had access to it, it was never a supplement. It was just food. Think of it as the plant that doesn't just stimulate the factory. It delivers all the raw materials at the same time. Sage is so familiar as a kitchen herb that its entire medicinal history has been almost completely erased from our memory. But in medieval European herbalism, sage was specifically prescribed for aging skin, joint stiffness, and what practitioners called strengthening the sinews. A direct reference to connective tissue. The collagen science behind sage is recent but compelling. Sage contains ursolic acid, the same triterpenoid found in Gotu Kola, which has been shown to directly stimulate collagen synthesis and inhibit the primary enzymes responsible for collagen degradation. Studies on topical and internal ursolic acid show improvements in skin collagen density and elasticity. Sage also contains rosmarinic acid, a potent antioxidant that protects existing collagen from UV and oxidative damage. Traditional preparation was sage tea, drunk regularly. A practice common in Mediterranean cultures where sage grows wild and is gathered fresh as part of daily life. Southern European populations that consume sage regularly consistently show lower rates of inflammatory joint disease and better skin aging outcomes than those who don't. Sage got forgotten as a medicine because it became too familiar as a spice. Nobody pays attention to what's already in their kitchen. But the herb sitting in your cupboard right now has been working as collagen medicine for 2,000 years. You just stopped knowing that. Think of it as the herb you've been cooking with your entire life, without knowing you were building collagen every single time. And here we are at number 20, the one I told you about at the very beginning, the one you've been pulling out of your garden and throwing away. Plant and weed, not the tropical fruit. The low-growing weed with oval ribbed leaves that appears in every lawn, every pathway, every disturbed piece of soil on Earth. We covered it in our last video for wound healing. But the reason it heals wounds so effectively is its direct and profound connection to collagen synthesis. Plantain contains aucubin and actioside, iridoid glycosides that have been shown in multiple studies to directly stimulate fibroblast activity and type I collagen synthesis. A study published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology showed that plantain extract increased collagen production in human fibroblasts by a statistically significant margin, comparable to standard clinical wound healing treatments. But here's the broader implication that nobody in the supplement industry wants you to understand. The same collagen-stimulating activity that makes plantain close wounds faster can also support systemic collagen production when consumed regularly. As it was in traditional European and Native American diets, where young plantain leaves were eaten as spring greens, brewed as tea, or used fresh in daily preparations for centuries. This plant is free. It grows everywhere. It has been growing at your feet your entire life. And the collagen industry has built a multi-billion-dollar business selling you processed versions of compounds that nature put in a weed you've been pulling out of your garden and throwing in the bin. Plantain got forgotten because it is too common, too available, too free. In a world where medicine is supposed to be expensive and complicated, a weed you can pick from your own garden doesn't feel like it should work. But it does, and it always has. Think of it as the plant the industry hopes you never remember. Because the day you do, you stop needing them. 20 plants. Thousands of years of use. In a multi-billion-dollar supplement industry that built its entire business model on the hope that you would never discover any of them. These aren't folk remedies. They aren't alternative theories. They are clinically documented plants that stimulate collagen production, protect it from degradation, and provide every cofactor your collagen synthesis system depends on. Your body knows how to make collagen. It has been doing it since before you were born. What it needs is the right raw materials, the right environment, and the right plants working with it instead of around it. Every single plant on this list provides exactly that. So here's what I want you to do. Smash that like button if this video changed the way you think about your supplement cabinet. Drop a comment below and tell me which plant surprised you the most. Are you Team Rosehip and Gotu Kola? Team Ginseng and Pomegranate? Team the weed growing in your own garden right now? I read every single comment, and I love hearing from you. And if you haven't subscribed to Ancient Herbs Healing yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that button and ring the bell. We post every week connecting the healing wisdom our ancestors lived by with the science that is finally proving why it worked. Because sometimes the most powerful medicine isn't a pharmacy. Sometimes it's been growing in your garden your entire life, just waiting for you to stop pulling it out.